This past week, we have started getting Boomer ready for his first ride. And so, how we do that, so we bring in rescue horses, and we don't know what their background is typically. Um, and also, when people tell us their experiences with the horses, it's not always our experience with the horses and our evaluation of their training level and such. But we had a pretty good idea. Boomer was an ex endurance horse, so he has a lot of competitive endurance miles actually. But some endurance horses can be, very, very forward and a little bit harder to manage, and some of them aren't. So we weren't quite sure what we were going to encounter with him. So Boomer is a close to 30-year-old purebred Arabian, and he came to us from a loving family who had him for most of his life, but he needed quite a lot of weight. So you see he's still a bit thin here, and we're not planning on going on any long rides or anything. I just wanted to see how he was under saddle while the weather was good, because we live in Wyoming, so winters are pretty tough. So we want to really see how they are in nicer weather, not trying it out with ice on the ground and 30-mile-an-hour wind blowing. So I was just gonna get on for a quick ride to see how he felt. So there's a few things that we do first before our first ride. We make sure they're listening, and so that's what I was doing when I was just asking him to trot. It's not like I was fully lunging him. I wasn't trying to get him tired or anything. Just getting him with me and getting him paying attention to me. So I was kind of flapping the stirrups around to make sure he wasn't spooked by the saddle, and um, also checking and making sure that he can give his hips, because that's one of the biggest steps that we look for, is making sure we have that emergency stop where we can ask for their hindquarters around if needed. And then here I kind of paused getting up to check in with him and make sure he wasn't spooked by it. And in all, this ride was only 5 minutes. It really was just, are you anxious under saddle or not? That's all I was trying to get an answer for. And so here again, I'm just checking those hips, just making sure that he's with me. And we are still working on putting some weight on him, but he's put on, probably close to 75 pounds with us. And so we have an array of saddles that we'll try on horses and see which ones fit him the best. And so he's in a synthetic saddle that tends to fit more narrow horses with a built-up pad. And we found that horses like him, older horses, if they can stay active, they will stay active for much longer. Just like people, if they can stay moving and stay fit, they will stay fit longer in their lives and stay healthier for themselves. And so again, just checking and making sure I can kind of roll over those hinds and seeing how he's feeling about things and petting him a lot, because his old owner said that he hadn't been ridden in close to a year. So we just were checking him out. And here I was kind of asking for some lateral movement, which he did. And so I'm just really checking and seeing where his training is at, where his comfortability is at. We also try different bridles on the horses, and so he's in a miler bit. So here I was asking for a little side pass to the left. And it's always fun to just kind of test out different buttons and see what each horse knows. So a little side pass to the right. And I wasn't looking for perfection, just an evaluation of what he knew. Just because sometimes we'll get horses that don't really know anything. Maybe they have actually more problems than is safe, like bolting or rearing or bucking. So just seeing where he's at in his training and his comfortability with somebody on his back, which I didn't expect him to be real worried about it. But when we adopt horses out, we want to make sure that we're fitting them with their best family. So, if the horse is a little bit more green, a little bit more barn sour or buddy sour, or has some feelings about things, and we want to know that. And we'll fix what we can, and if we aren't able to, we want to make sure we let the adopters know. We're not trying to get rid of horses where we want to make sure that we're as honest as we can be. And so we try to test them out on trails and take them to horse shows and really get to know them so that we can find them their best homes. So I was just checking and making sure that he would go forward easy and see how sensitive he is. That's a big thing. Some horses are just kind of too sensitive for a novice rider, and so we want to know where that sensitivity is, especially in an Arab. And so here I'm just checking and seeing, how soft he is in the mouth, how his flexions feel like. Is he nice and soft, turning his head? And he was pretty good. I'm not expecting a whole lot. I know he's an old man, and I'm not looking for, any sort of, not looking for him to be a performance horse or anything. Just seeing where he's at. Now I'm going to test and see where he's at. Spookiness level. And another reason we do this is because we have exercisers and people who work with us and volunteer with us of all levels. So I'm testing him out. I'm like, okay, can, an intermediate rider ride you and work with you? A beginner doesn't have to be an advanced rider. So I'm kind of purposely seeing what he's comfortable with by moving my arms around and moving my legs around. He did really good. He got a little spooked when the saddle stirrup kind of scraped against the girth, but that's it. Now I'm seeing if he knows collection and vertical flexion. A lot of times we find that horses that love to get out, like Boomer, a lot of times it can actually help them put on better and healthier weight if we can give them some light exercise. And that doesn't mean running them around, just getting out, walking around, maybe walking over some poles, but it'll really help them put on that muscle in a healthier way and put on the fat in a healthier way. And then also if they know collection and vertical flexion, it makes it lots easier to help them build up that back muscle, especially when they're coming back. And that was it. I was only on him for about 5 minutes. And so a few days later, we actually had the opportunity to take him out on this really, really nice trail. So we took Valkyrie and Angus and Boomer, and we just went for a short trail ride. It was pretty cold, and we kept it really short, but it was really fun. It's probably going to be, if not the last trail ride, one of the last trail rides of the season. He was a little forward, but a super good boy, and we're really excited he's going to make some families super happy. We're really excited for him.